Jaguar shark. Jaguar shark. Exactly. Exactly. Jaguar shark.
Welcome to the Game Rescue Show. I am your Pitchmaster General from Another Mother, the Film Rescue Show. I'm here joined by Jesse Fresco.
Hello, I'm here to talk about this thing that I hate.
Don't ruin the thing yet. We also have Josh Meyer with us as well from so many previous episodes. Just friend of the show, producer for Montressor, all around good guy. What's up, Josh?
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen?
So good, so happy to be
Doing
here.
good.
Not stoked for the circumstances, but here we are. We are here to talk about Skull and Bones, as it says on the cover of the game, a Ubisoft original.
Sure. You mean this wasn't originally intended as an expansion to Black Flag? Oh, wait. It actually says right here, initially envisioned as an expansion to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Shut up.
Isn't that interesting?
Let's start off as we try to with our positives on this show. We have Skull and Bones here, as we will get into. Its reasons for being here are plentiful. I'm very curious if you two gleaned anything from your watching the playthroughs. I know Jesse didn't get a chance to play this because it is expensive now, but I think Josh and I got in on the free beta. I'm curious what your experiences were with it. Josh, let's start with you.
Sure, I'll start us off.
Slick.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing good to say about it, unfortunately.
You can't do this to
Gosh.
me. Come on.
No, I know. I'm gonna dig deep for it. Okay.
Reach.
I enjoyed how when I clicked buttons on my mouse, it made other ships take damage. And if I got close enough, I could hit another button, and it would allow me to just wipe that ship off the face of the planet. That was kind of neat.
That is its internal gameplay loop, isn't it?
So that's kind of the only thing that you do out on the high seas. Oh wait, no. I guess there's like wind, and if you go, yeah, exactly. If you go into the wind, you go slower. But if you're like, if you turn around, you go faster.
So there
if
is physics in this game, is what you're telling me.
Yes, so they definitely included that, which was great. But if you
Hey, you
needed
guys
to
ever
go,
play that game Assassin's Creed Black Flag? That's a really good game.
yeah, I feel like they could have drawn so much inspiration from that if they wanted to make this good. I'm really surprised they didn't. But yeah, I just want to say one last thing. The physics is so good that if you try to go to your objective and it's to the north, but the wind is coming from the north, you can't. I mean, you can. It just takes a month, and that's not engaging.
But isn't that's realism? Isn't that what people want? A month-long sea voyages.
So I mean, yes, there is such a thing as tacking, but they didn't include that.
Yeah.
Which would have been helpful. Jesse, it feels like Josh is floundering here. Please help him. Compliment this game. God damn it.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
All
Sorry.
Right. I would love to say that the graphics in this game are good.
Really? Are you sure?
I would love for you to say that so I could disagree.
That's why I don't want to say
too.
it. That's why I don't want to say it.
You love those facial animations, those cold, dead eyes?
I don't need. Okay, so maybe my further point here is I don't need ultra realism from a game to be impressed by its graphics. Like,
Same.
I appreciated that. Like, this feels color graded and set in the Caribbean in like a way that I could have gotten into. That like there is some kind of a design push within the look of the game. I'm dancing around the porthole-sized hole in the middle of this game And
Which is the fact that there is no game?
where's the game?
How much does this
Josh!
game go for right now?
Josh!
$70, $80? Are you fucking kidding me?
Josh, it's like, oops, no game. Where's the game in here?
Yeah. There's honestly, there's not really much of a gamification at all of any of these systems. You get off your ship and you have a very limited space to move around in whatever you have landed on,
Yeah.
and it is all very theme park, right? But they actually forgot the park, and they just left us with theme, and so it's just pictures, locales, and occasionally NPCs, but it's all dead.
Yeah. It reminds me of that game, The Order 1886. Remember that?
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
a big sell for the technology at the time for PS4.
Yeah, but it was pretty much reviled by almost everybody.
Absolutely, everyone hated it. I think it was a really short game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's
Yeah.
no game in your game, no one's going to go back to play through it. If you want a really good review of that, go look at the old previously recorded episode from Red Letter Media. It's wonderful. It's like an hour long, and they burn the game at the very end. Like it's what everybody felt. It's
So
like,
okay, let's shift then, if we can't compliment this, because I have some choice words for this in the negatives part. My question for you two is, at what point was it like obvious that it was a scam?
when you didn't even have to leave your boat in order to collect resources from islands. Hey, did Assassin's Creed piss you off that you had to get off your boat and actually have player agency? Well, guess what? All you had to do is just sail up to the island, press a button, and you're done. Move on. That's where I was like, oh, this could have been a mobile game.
Ooh,
This
yeah.
could have. This doesn't even need a console release. It is so bare bones. There's nothing in here, and yet
So
they're
you're saying
charging.
it's skull and bare bones.
Yes,
Skull
Perfect.
and bone, just one.
skull
It's
and
skull
bone.
and bone.
God.
What I'm getting out of it is oh man, what was I just about to say? I just lost it.
So I was
Um,
asking when you
oh,
figured
right,
out it
your
was
question.
a scam.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think I figured out. I don't want to say I figured out like I'm proud of it. I suspected
Yeah,
that
there
this
we
was
go.
going to be to be a scam when who was it, the creative director, whatever, on Twitter he called it a quadruple A game.
Yeah, fuck upper management on this one, dude. Like this is
And-
absolutely fuck upper management.
Yeah, and the price tag came out at $70.
Yeah, eat
Like,
shit.
Ooh.
I'm having trouble justifying spending $50 on most games and entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
$60, like I generally just don't do it. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And sure, that hurts everybody's bottom line, right? Because they want to sell at that immediate high price point. Those pre-orders, those first week sales are so important. If you don't make the first week sales, we are never going to make a sequel to this game. You're
Mhm.
never going to see anything else grand with this series. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gesturing wildly, but you can't see it. And so
Yeah.
I am just, I was floored. It's going to be $70, and they call it quadruple A. And I said, oh, I really don't believe you.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to be disappointed by the beta, and I was not let down in my disappointment.
I would.
That's a double negative, which is exactly how I feel about this game.
So you can actually watch my initial reactions, because I streamed Skull and Bones the night that it came out on the beta.
Uh-huh.
And you can also watch me uninstall the game from my PlayStation in the stream, because all right, this is my rant. And I said
Go for it.
I said it a little bit in that episode, but I didn't get to go into the detail that I wanted, and I feel like this is the space for it.
Do it.
Do you guys remember Sly Cooper?
Oh yeah, of course. I love
Oh
those
yeah.
games.
Oh yeah.
In the third Sly Cooper game, in one of the final levels, so there was multiple worlds you visit within the game. In the final level world, there was a Skull and Bones style mini game where you played Sly and controlled the ship with your right and left joystick, or your right and left triggers. And then your right and left bumpers would fire cannons. So you could you controlled the guy on the boat, and you controlled the boat. And this was on the PlayStation fucking 2.
Mm-hmm.
A mini game on the PlayStation fucking 2. And this is a $70 quadruple A video game that I'm sorry, quadruple A implies that there's an actual Assassin's Creed game in the middle of this game. And I guarantee you fucking not it's not in there.
No.
I like what Jesse said earlier. This as a mobile game would impress me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a gameplay loop of controlling a ship and shooting other boats, that sounds fun. Like I get the nugget of the idea in there. I'm not taking
A nice time waster while you're at the bus stop.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
to then like about face and present this as some kind of shift in video gaming. Why are you allowed to do that? That feels like it should be illegal to do.
It technically is a scam, because they didn't deliver on any of their promises. Also, by the way, this took 11 years to get made.
Oh my God! Delay after delay after delay. Okay.
And this is the best you could do.
right, and I believe and I feel this in my heart that the reason this got delayed so many times is they had to completely revamp because what they had was not going to sell well. What they had was then probably not going to make management happy. Then we have it probably wasn't going to make the investors happy, and so it's money. And what we ended up with was, well, we've invested so much into this to make it a quadruple A budget. We need to now just put it out there and get that money back.
Yeah, we can't spend any more. We've already spent too much. We just have to trick everybody and get our money back.
Right.
I hate imagine being a kid and being stoked for this, and this is
You
frustrating.
guys want to talk about Helldivers?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
New
Let's do
intro.
it!
Huge fan.
New intro. Welcome to the
intro.
Game Rescue Show. I'm your Pitchmaster General, and we're not talking about Skull and Bones. We're talking about Helldivers. I have Jesse Fresco, level 38 in the game last I checked. Is that right?
38.
38.
38.
I have also Josh Meyer. I know you've been playing. Where are you? You and I haven't played in a minute. Where are you at in the game?
Around 26, 27.
Hell,
28,
okay, so
something
we're
like that.
trucking through. We're deep. We're deep game.
We're making it, man. This is. Oh man, all I know is I need super samples. That's all I'm saying. But
That's what I'm
think we
saying.
get 'em.
I was
I just
super
need to take
sample
super
farming this
samples.
morning. I was
Ugh.
farming this morning. It's also a nice
Excellent.
coincidence we're going to start talking about this because we were trying to do an episode on Helldivers like a couple weeks back, and Mike Spielman, who was trying to be on the episode today, he got COVID, so now he's sick. He
Poor
can't
guy.
make it.
Poor guy.
So he was unavailable a couple weeks back, and that was back when the last update hit. This morning, another update hit, and guess what? The flying enemies are now in the game.
They fly now.
What? No.
They fly now.
No.
They fly now.
You sound like a bug sympathizer.
Yeah. I was just plopping along in a map, and just out of nowhere, here come these shriekers coming from the sky. Here they
How
come.
undemocratic of them.
Oh god, this game fucking rocks.
So good.
I'm so excited to jump into it. Let's talk Helldivers. Let's go. First impressions. Josh, why did you download this game? Were you looking for it? Was it your buddies into it? How did you get onto the Helldivers track?
I feel like I was the one that introduced everybody to it.
So, well, I'm gonna say no. For me anyway. I played Helldivers 1, the first
Oh,
game,
right, yeah, you played the first
many
one.
many years ago, and I played it with my college buddies, Dodd and we'll call Juicebox. So I played it with those guys, and we absolutely were like, this is an insane game.
Yeah.
Like it was damn difficult, but it was forced perspective, isometric, way up above. You had to be all on the same screen together, and so we had to fight each other constantly. It reminded me of like Marvel Heroes back on Wii,
Yeah.
where you had to like fight each other
yeah.
for screen space. And yeah, anyway, with the friendly fire and the twin stick shooter, wasn't a huge fan of that part of it.
Sure.
But after a little bit of practice, you could get good with it. I just absolutely loved it. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, Helldivers 2 is coming out. And I was like, yo, that already has my attention and probably my money. What's it going to be like? Oh, it's going to be third person over the shoulder. I cannot wait.
Yep. And by the way,
Could not wait.
I want to also mention This game is $40.
Yeah.
Wait,
$30 cheaper than Skull and Bones from a
would you
smaller
consider this
studio.
a quadruple A game?
Fuck yeah, I would.
If it had like more of those like really high, that opening sequence is so high quality. If it had
Oh,
more
yeah.
of those, I would have no problem calling it a triple A or a quadruple A game. I would have no issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
That-
story is fairly bare bones. It's not really a game about that. So it's just meant to get you into the game.
It doesn't need it. It's just it gets you in the door and it says like, you know what? Let's do this. And then they just make you invested with all the little things.
See,
The democracy, the spreading democracy, like just silly shit.
I think
You guys
Call of-
ever seen that movie Starship Troopers? That movie fucking rocks.
I think Call of Duty lulled us into this idea that narrative is important for these kinds of games, and Left 4 Dead, which I'm going to bring up way too much on this episode, was like case in point. They made it movies that you're playing through to give you a semblance of plot because there's no
Yeah.
plot. The story is what you make it with your friends as you play through level to level.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about player engagement. They've said multiple times they're not putting PvP into the game. It's just player versus everyone. It's a horde shooter, basically.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, PvP is already in the game.
Yeah.
I can call in a stratagem right on your head, and if you die,
Like truly.
That's one thing that started out when the game first dropped and people didn't know that when you collect samples or requisition slips or medals throughout the levels,
They're
you don't have
killing
to
each
kill
other
your
for 'em.
teammates.
They're fucking cannibalizing each other in the early days.
yes, yes.
If one person picks them up, everybody gets one.
Hey, you know what though? On the wrap-up screen, it says how many samples I made it out with on my body.
That's right.
So if you die, I'm collecting yours, and then I'm taking all the fame. Like, wow, I'm MVP.
Wow.
I-
How special. And then you immediately get blacklisted from playing with anybody else.
Well, and like, there's also no reason that the three of us couldn't agree to drop in on a level, not do the missions, all go to the other sides of the map, and then try to find each other and kill each other before the time comes up. Like, we could make that our own game within the game if we wanted to.
Yeah, and that's kind of battle royale-ish,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
a little bit. And then there's weapons that spawn in there, and you know,
Mm,
ammo. You could make something happen with that.
yeah, exactly. No stratagem, hunt and destroy each other.
But the
Yeah.
game is about working as a team. It's
Right.
it's one of the first
To be
games I
clear,
could
I have more
Yeah.
fun working together than actually trying to one up my friends. Like that's
Yeah. That's why this has taken off so quickly. This game just skyrocketed like in the moment it dropped. I mean, of course, when it first came out, you couldn't get into the goddamn servers because it was broke as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, but they
real
fixed that
quick,
shit real quick.
Testament to how great the game is. We all forgave them for all of these issues.
Oh, yeah.
No
Yes.
problem.
I was thinking about this morning. Compare this to the debacle of No Man's Sky from a decade ago.
Mm,
How long did it take for them to actually put some content into that fucking thing? Like a
Yeah,
year?
it's several years later than they actually got content.
yeah.
Oh, now we're gonna put shit in after everybody's finally up and left. Like, no, they got this shit fucking straight a month after it dropped. Okay, this thing is crystal clear, smooth as butter. We still have some occasional like, oh, everybody got kicked from servers. We had that happen last night, Seth.
Yeah,
it happens, but it's
that happens.
but
in
it
all
doesn't
games.
happen
That's-
often.
Yeah, that's something I expect anytime I'm playing online. I'll have a Jackbox just hang up in the browser sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it happens.
Absolutely.
We're using satellite technology to play video games
Yeah.
across the world. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
But they want you to work as a team. It's one of the first games I can think of in recent memory where they actually are saying, hey, don't kill your friends. Try working together. Because
Right.
that's the point of the game. You know, and that's why everyone's just kind of gravitated towards it. I think the COD mindset has really poisoned the well on multiplayer games or like games like Destiny and shit like that, where it's just the same gameplay loop over and over and it's boring as fuck.
Well, because
Like,
there's
Right.
there's less camaraderie. I think like I've noticed within the culture of Helldivers, everyone sticks around to try to get everyone out at the end. That has remained, I think, the like transfix point. Like sometimes I'll drop in and all 4 people want to stay together. Sometimes I'll drop in and we'll split up into teams. So if it's an easy level, I might fuck off and do my own thing. But at the end of the day, we all want to evac together, and that has maintained as like a culture in the game. And I think that's tied to the fact that it encourages that teamwork.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's further amplified by the emote system. I can now hug the homies like that.
Oh yeah, that glitch. I love that glitch. you can hug and it gives you iframes.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I didn't know
love
that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
if you hug your teammates in the middle of fights, it'll actually create iframes you can survive.
Dude.
I try to make it a point to hug the homies before I log off for the night.
Mm.
Yeah, but I will say it is a bit of a problem when you end up in matches where it's people that aren't super skilled or don't know how you're supposed to play the game. It is, I mean, I was encountering this last night and I was getting very fucking frustrated, Seth. God damn it. Look, let's clear this up right now. I was playing with Blake, Blake, who used to be my neighbor in New York. He's almost like level 50 at this point. He's been playing this thing
busting
with him,
ass,
like
I
a madman.
saw.
Yeah, he's
Sure.
kicking ass. He's like finishing Helldiver missions solo at this point.
Right.
The way in which you're supposed to play is you're not supposed to actually fight and kill anything because you don't get anything. You don't get experience or super credits or anything like that. The bugs or the automatons are an impediment to getting to your objective. You're supposed to finish your objectives, finish secondary objectives, maybe collect some stuff and get out. That's the point. The bugs are just there as a block to get through. Like if you can avoid fighting, avoid fighting. So whenever I see some idiot, noob motherfucker just drop in and run off by himself and go fucking Rambo, killing as many things as possible, I'm reminded of that line from Zombieland 2 where Woody Harrelson goes, "You'll be the first to die, but I admire your enthusiasm." It's like it's not worth it. Like they're just gonna keep spawning. That's the point. I found that there is an algorithm in the game that every map has a cap on the number of enemies that can spawn at one time, so that way it doesn't take up too much memory. So if you reach that cap, the enemies stop spawning, and if you get far enough away from them, they de-aggro. So it's better to just run. Don't fight things. Avoid combat, because you're just blowing away ammo. Then you got to call in a resupply. It's better to just don't fight anything and keep running. It's like putting a bucket underneath a leaky sink, and you just keep emptying the bucket back into the sink. Well, the leak is still there. It's just going to keep going. But if you cut off the leak, the bucket stops filling up. That's how it works. Just try to avoid fighting. You're not supposed to kill anything. You're supposed to just run.
My favorite Hellpod buff, the one squad enhancement that you can add, right?
Oh yeah.
Is the UAV extension. And I also love the stealth armor and the ability to ping on the map and see what's in the area. That's my favorite style of play, is to sneak around, to get away from those things.
Higher difficulties, it's required. Like you need to sneak around.
I'm so glad they have that in the game, and I'm so glad that they have so many difficulty levels that play with all of that you can start to practice and really ramp up for those higher level difficulties.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Where you're essentially just a sheep herder for bugs. Just keep running in circles, guys.
Yeah, having to kite around the evac point until that goddamn dropship can arrive.
Oh my
The
god.
fact that works, though, like, that's because that's testament to what you're saying, Jesse. Like, that's what it's supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what the game's supposed to be. You're supposed to just run. If you try to fight everything, they're just going to keep spawning. They're just going to keep coming at you.
Well,
there's no point in fighting. I mean, obviously kill the bigger stuff that's obviously going to kill you quickly, like chargers or bile titans. Like, that's what the stratagems are for. You throw out that orbital laser in front of you, it'll spawn behind you, and it'll take out anything that's chasing you. That's the way you're supposed to do it. If you stop and turn around, you slow down, you waste your ammo.
Well, the idea is you are a unit, right? Like
you're a team.
People because I play solo and I enjoy a solo drop, but like I am often finding myself in situations where having the second person to help clear that space between you and the bugs for a getaway, that's like such a useful move. And so I think the game rewards you the more you're willing to communicate and plan. Like when you
Yeah.
drop in, if you drop in and want to play like Josh and want to sneak, if you have 4 people and you want to take a Seif, positioning all 4 people in a place where they can take out 3 bugs real quick, clear that platform, and then you have 4 people to set the Seif, or 2 people to set the Seif up and 2 to cover while the Seif is being set up. Like that, then give yourself a wedge to get out of that situation. You have to accomplish the tasks, and you have
Yeah.
to manage the bugs while you're accomplishing the task. It's not about not killing them or killing them. In some situations, it makes sense to just let them follow, right? Like send one guy off
Yeah.
with a shield and let him run a circle around a rock so the charger can't get
He'll
him.
draw them away. Yeah.
He draws
Right.
them away,
Yeah,
right?
guide them away, exactly.
And but that also requires like, hey, if you're going to send that guy off to do that, you have to eventually then send someone back to clear a path so he can get away from those bugs, right? Somebody
Yeah.
sets up on a hill and like it takes that teamwork because you can only do one thing at a time. That's my favorite part. You can only do one thing at a time. All 4 of us might press the terminal at different points, right? But only one person can press at a time.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you going to do
You
with
really
the
got
other
to
people?
strategize there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go favorite aspects of the game. What is the venom that is just gripping your veins that makes you got to drop in 6 and 7 times in a night before you can quit? What has got
Oh
you?
man. But here's a small thing. How about the best loading screen in all of fucking history?
Ba, ba,
Jesus
ba,
Christ.
ba.
Dude, every time it's awesome. It never gets old.
Sometimes
Never gets old.
Sometimes I wonder when I'm up like way late if anyone's like coming out to the bathroom and all they hear is dun 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 dun.
Dude, I was at work yesterday. I was just humming the theme to myself, and the person I was working with was like, "What are you humming?" I was like, "Oh, the Helldiver theme." It's like it's just such a catchy tune. You know, it's very similar to Starship Troopers to the point where I think that the creators of Starship Troopers could sue and probably win.
Yeah, but they
So-
don't have to, because is this not just free advertising for them?
It totally is. It totally is
God,
real.
yes.
I saw that. Oh God, what's the guy's Who is the guy that did? Oh God, he made Mad God. Remind me his name.
Oh, Phil Tippett.
Phil Tippett. He posted on Twitter. He's like, "So I'm seeing that Starship Troopers is really popular again. What's going on?" And somebody said, "Oh yeah, Helldivers 2 came out," and he was like, "What's that?" And everybody showed him. He's like, "Oh, that's cool." So,
Dog.
the creators are recognizing. Oh, okay, it's like free advertising. Awesome.
Phil Tippett
Cool. We appreciate-
approved.
Phil
There you
Tippett
go.
approved. So,
My favorite aspect of the game so far is the mechanic behind being able to dive out of the path of a charging creature.
oh
get
yeah,
out of
the
way
tuck and roll.
yes, and then turn around and shoot from your back.
Yeah, being able to dive and turn while you're on the ground. I love that.
Oh my god, like it's so smooth and so just delightful.
Yeah.
You know, you can cover your own retreat by
Mhm.
just doing a dive,
Right.
turn back, fire a few times, get back up and run. It's just good.
The
Yeah.
corkscrews that I see online sometimes, people just jumping away from bugs and bots and shooting and falling and it just it's cool to observe from the outside. I love that, like, the title of the game, the mechanic of the game, and then performing and watching that mechanic are all in perfect balance with each other.
Yes, and
Mhm.
the fact that I can climb up on a tall hill and then hell dive off of it,
Right?
Yeah.
and it
well,
hurts.
yeah.
It's
well,
so much fun.
I will say I don't like the fact that fall damage is a little bit jank. At this point, you could fall from 3 feet and take damage. Like, dude, come on. that does piss me off a little bit. I fall from like
Especially
3
if you're
feet. and-
diving head first, yeah. But it reminds me of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the early games when you could swan dive off of things
Oh,
and
yeah.
just break your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually got the remastered edition recently, and it's still it's actually pretty good. Although the modern controls don't quite work right, but it's
Yeah,
way
I
better
can
than the
imagine
old
that.
jank ones. It's-
The jank
yeah.
ones is the way to go.
But it works once you get used to it. The newer controls, they work pretty well.
Okay.
So you got to get used to it. You got to kind of relearn the game. It's still based on that grid system.
So
Oh yeah.
with
Yeah.
all of us being pretty deep game now, where is your bias lying? Are you doing more bugs or bots?
Bugs.
Bugs, mainly because I think that the issue is that if you're gonna go in on the bots, you have to have the right weapons and equipment, and I'm still kind of grinding up to get to the better weapons. So
Interesting.
plus you really need to have a 4-person squad, a really good team to take on the bots. They're tough. Like they're
I
real
find the
tough.
bots to be way tougher, even at equivalent difficulties. I
Yeah.
find the bots way tougher.
Well, also they fucking shoot at you.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Beyond just that, their weak spots are a lot smaller, and you have
Oh,
to be way more
God.
precise when you're fighting
Yeah.
them.
Right.
They
Yeah.
also seem to be way tankier than the bugs.
I
Like
think
I'll
that's why
sit
they
and just blast a bug in the head, and it'll
Yeah.
die after 3-4 hits with my shotgun.
Yeah.
But those damn rushers with the chainsaw man hands. and
Oh
they're just
yeah.
running
yeah.
at you. Those take way too long.
I kept wondering why did they put like precision rifles into the game? Because every time I'd use them on the bugs, they were fucking useless. And then I realized,
Right.
oh, they're for the bots.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
there
Yeah,
to take out the
they-
bots.
100%.
And now I realize, yeah, they're for the
100%.
bots.
Headshot on the bots. Anything that glows red on the bots. Yeah, that's what you're going for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Liberator Penetrator, that is my go-to for the bots because that has that medium armor punching power. And
Yeah.
it's got distance on it too. You can really stand away and snipe with it.
It also has a
That-
lot of pushback. It pushes them away so they don't get as close to you.
Oh, that's pretty nice too. I did the oh man, what is it? The Jarinator, I don't know, Dominator, something like that.
Dominator.
Dominator, yeah.
Yeah, the whatever. Anyway, that shotgun has medium armor penetration. That's the one
Mhm.
that I use for the bots. Big
Nice.
big fan of that one. Although it was pretty expensive, took a while to get to.
Yeah. Speaking of the weapon loadouts, there was the when the game first dropped, forgive the pun. When it first came out, there was the meta loadout. It was the 500 kg bomb, the orbital laser, the rail cannon, and the shield generator. Those have all since essentially been nerfed at this point, thanks to the next update. How do we feel about that? Do we think it encourages a change in gameplay? Do we miss the rail cannon? I've never even used the rail cannon. since
Doesn't
then.
bother me in the slightest. I was always an autocannon man, and before that, I was a grenade, the grenade launcher.
Dude, I've been
Yeah,
running
that's
grenade
bad.
launcher
Big
a
fan.
lot. Yeah.
Big fan, and mostly a fan because he can close bug holes from farther away.
Yeah, I like the autocannon as well for that reason. I was playing some maps this morning and I ended up in a match where I had to take out an entire large hive of bugs by myself because my team was off doing an objective. So I was kiting around while avoiding 2 Bile Titans, and the only thing that saved me was the fucking autocannon because I had to kill
Yeah.
those bug holes
It's
real
so good.
real fast.
It's great at killing them. It takes a little while, and it's more. I feel it's more skillful than just, the recoilless or the expendable
Yeah.
anti-tank straight to the
Mm.
head.
Yeah.
That's kind of easy, but then I can't use it for other things. That's why I like the autocannon. It's more versatile, right? That's what I'm enjoying about it. Rail cannon took a little bit of extra skill too because you could put it in the unsafe mode.
Which is the
Um,
only way to kill the Bile Titans at this point. You gotta
yeah,
flip it.
Yeah, and that one's a little bit rougher for me because I haven't really done a lot of time with it.
Yeah.
But I'll say even missing with the autocannon is hilarious because my shell scope fly and I might hit a friend, I might hit another bug. Who knows?
It's always funny whenever you're trying to shoot a Bile Titan or a Charger in the front with the autocannon and the shell just pings off the side
Oh
and goes
my
up into the
God.
atmosphere. It's
Exactly.
hilarious.
There it goes.
I had to learn to shoot at the ground with the grenade launcher for the same reason because it'll just ricochet right off of their carapace.
That I ran into that for the little guy. Well, first of all, you don't want to use an autocannon or a grenade launcher at your own feet for obvious reasons.
I
there
learned
is
that
a-
the hard way.
Right. There's a small blessing
Yeah,
with the
also-
grenade launcher. It
Yeah.
has a minimum distance before it
Yeah,
explodes.
I learned that the hard way.
And you'll also learn that one the hard way because when it ricochets off that little tiny orange guy or the damn hunter that jumped in your face just a
Oh,
second ago.
fucking kangaroo Jack, you piece of shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about them kangaroos in a minute. Sight kangaroo. It will deflect and go flying, and let me tell you, I have killed my friends plenty of times with that. So
Whoops.
I
Mhm.
turned to the autocannon, and I'm a little bit more careful now.
Nice.
I've been to answer your question. I like the changing meta. I like buffing and nerfing over time because I get bored running the same stuff over and over again. And this game is the spice of life with like the amount of different options. So I've been running the spear as my support lately because
Mhm.
no one was talking about it when all the meta talk was happening.
Yeah.
Whatever the new meta is, no one was talking about the spear. I was like, is this the ugly duckling? I want to fuck around with it. It's
Right.
awesome.
Like, why not?
I am
Yeah,
dropping
okay.
Bile Titans with it, and I was like, oh, okay, now I've got a little expertise. So when I play with like higher level groups and I load out with the spear, I get the side eye, and it's like, no, give me a second here. Let me show you what this spear does real quick. You
Yeah, it's just
drop
watch,
a
watch,
charger,
watch.
right?
Mhm.
That's my favorite thing. My favorite thing is like showing up with the odd weapon and being good with it, and then getting other people to go, damn, I might try that one out. Like,
I've enjoyed that in so many different games. I don't want to do the meta. I always avoid the meta. The meta isn't fun. It gets boring and stale very quickly. And so being able to play different weapons, just like you were saying, Seth, being able to swap around to different loadouts, something gets a buff, something else gets a nerf, whatever it takes, trying all these different things. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to do all this fire stuff. I want to build my guy around extra flame damage, and I'm hoping
Nice.
one day that I find armor that has reduced flame damage, just like they've got the
fireproofing. Yeah, we
electricity
need
damage.
fireproof armor.
Yeah.
We need some more fireproofing so that when I use my flamethrower and the breaker shotgun, I can the incendiary shotgun, I can light things on fire and walk through the fire and flames myself.
Oh my god. Speaking of great music to play while you're playing this game, I've been experimenting. Classical is fun. I can't lie. Autobots with some Mozart. That is a good combo. Jesse and I we did Thunderstruck and Bugs the other night. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
there's things I would add into the game, and one I would say is to add, if when you're ever in a vehicle, they haven't had the APCs into the game yet. They're gonna get them in soon. But they
somebody
put the
hacked one in.
Somebody hacked one in. Yes, it's
Ooh.
available kind of if you hack it in, but it's still not totally done.
Yeah, it's
It was
not
in the
legit
original game.
anyway.
Yeah, but anyways, one thing I would add in: a radio, play some music, or play radio stations that just spout propaganda, because that'd be kind of funny.
Right,
That would be
right. Would you,
universe podcasts.
Yes.
Would you be for proximity comms only?
Is that not I
Uh,
guess that's not an option, is it? It's like
No, it's not enough, because the mic that's on the controller, it doesn't speak, it doesn't receive audio for some reason. That's something that they haven't put into the game yet. Whenever I'm talking to you guys whenever you're streaming, we're doing it through the Discord chat.
right.
We're not doing it through the game itself, because for some reason they didn't put in the wireless controller mic option. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Huh.
Because it's kind of needed, because I'm always hearing people talking through my television, which is 10 feet away from me. So
yeah. You want their
the
voices to
chat
come
work-
across your controller.
yeah,
Really
why?
wouldn't help or work for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't help. Like, I'm not sure why they didn't put that into the game. It's got to be a bug, or it's got to be something they just forgot about. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll get patched in at some point. But yeah,
You're saying
I
the
really
game
appreciate
does
that.
have flaws. I kind of
Wow.
am surprised. I didn't think it had any.
It's got some. It's still got some technical issues. There's still issues of people being kicked from servers. We had that happen last night. There's still
Right.
that weird bug, that weird tearing bug, where a person's skin is pulled like 300
Oh yeah.
feet.
When the
That
bugs
still
hatch.
happens. I don't know what it is.
Gigantify.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Yeah.
it is. Also, there's times when you're on an easier difficulty and like 4 Bile Titans showed up. We had that happen to us a couple nights ago, Seth. We're on a
Yeah.
challenging mission and like 5 Chargers showed up at one time. Like, that's completely wrong. Like, that shouldn't have happened. There's still some balancing problems. So there's still issues. They're still working it out. But for a small team to
Yeah.
put out a $40 game, and it's kicking the shit out of everything else. It got more players than COD and Fortnite, and they're still adding stuff to the game. And they're saying, yeah, you don't have to pay us anymore if you don't want to. Like, when the game first came out and the game was not functional, the servers were basically fucking dead. They just couldn't get the thing to run properly. The CEO came out and said, yeah, if you don't want to buy the game now, you don't have to. He wasn't being petulant or being petty.
No,
He just
it's just
said,
wait.
yeah,
It's your
just wait.
prerogative.
Yeah, wait until we fix it. It's fine. You don't have to buy it now if you don't want to.
Right.
Right.
Like,
but
I
you will buy
admire
it later.
that.
I guarantee it because it's so damn good.
Yeah, and everybody bought it later, and I did spend an extra $20 to get some super credits to get some better weapons. I spent another 20, got it up 60, essentially paid for a full price game. And I am not feeling any kind of buyer's remorse. I willingly and gladly paid a little extra money to a company that actually gives a crap about its fan base.
That's one of
If
my.
I never played it again right now, as of like right now, I will have absolutely beyond a doubt gotten my money's worth.
Oh, yeah,
Already.
absolutely. Yeah, if the servers
Yeah.
died tomorrow, I'm worthwhile $40. I would not feel bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts was I'll these kind of games tend to like pique my interest in that they have potential to be cash cows, right? And that is a great way to ruin your game. I was shocked.
Destiny.
I was shocked to find that the place where you use your real world money is like hidden away in a computer off to the side in your ship. And not only that, the game gives you in-game currency. Like, I'm about to buy the new premium war bond with just saved
Yeah.
super credits.
Me too. I'm close.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's the grind. Like, there's my thing to like earn. I need the like extra rare samples for the aesthetic stuff.
Super samples.
The super
Yeah.
samples,
Yeah.
and then I need super credits to kind of grind it out. But even like the opening up the paths, I'm not quick to do it because the stuff you're getting is so just aesthetic. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
the game's the
I mean,
game
there's,
on its own.
There's better weapons that you can get. There's better grenades. There's some new animations you can get. But overall, a lot of stuff is fairly cosmetic. Which
Did
there
you
is
notice,
one.
too, that with your real money, you can't just buy samples.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
You can only buy the super credits, which is mostly for cosmetic stuff, or
Exactly.
to get the better weapons, which you could just grind away and just play the missions.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to buy it. Like, you can just go through the missions and just find the super credits and just kind of grind away at it if you wanted to.
Right.
If you want to just get up there a little bit, if you just need a bump up, you can just pay a little extra money and there you are. You're not paying to win.
Right.
You're paying for a little bit of extra stuff to continue fighting.
And
Because if you get up to the Helldiver difficulty and you have shit weapons, you're fucked. Like, you're completely fucked.
Right.
If you
there's
drop
there's
in
no
with,
question.
yeah, if you drop in with like the standard assault rifle on Helldiver mission, just quit. Just log out.
Dude,
You're done.
I would take that challenge. Actually, I would love to do a noob loadout on a Helldiver level, and just
Well,
see
every
what
time we get into the
happens.
game now, there's a glitch with it that keeps resetting your loadout, so we may
I
have not
know.
actually doing that, Seth.
I know, dude.
There's another problem. They keep resetting loadouts. There's a glitch
Yeah,
in the game.
I
Yeah.
had a problem with that early on, like day 1, 2, 3, somewhere around there. Maybe even for the first week, it kept resetting all of our like emotes,
Yep.
the end of match emote that you would do, victory pose, I guess is what they call it there.
Yeah.
Even the background of your character and stuff, like all that stuff kept getting reset, and boy,
Yeah.
that was annoying, but damn, it's small potatoes.
Well, I almost argued for a second that it was a upside because it adds to the lore in universe that you are resetting every time you die down on a planet. So it's kind of going like, I don't know, man. Like maybe it's not. Maybe this is just the new you. Maybe this is the one that popped out of the Helldiver unit.
Right.
And it's fun that this game has that kind of tongue-in-cheekness to it as well. We brought up Starship Troopers earlier. The game itself is full of propaganda to the point like
Oh yeah.
we take down other people's propaganda towers.
Yeah,
Right.
the people that are spouting the propaganda, they're pointing out, hey, you know, Super Earth is kind of bad, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing that you're actually doing is you're farming the bugs, and the thing they secrete, the oil, is used to create E170. Flip 170 over, it spells oil.
710.
like,
yes.
Yeah, or 710. Yeah, it's like it's clearly just Super Earth is just being a capitalist or fascist state. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's clearly some rebel insurgency out there that's probably going to be the fourth faction. I've said before that it's probably going to be a fourth faction of just ordinary people. We have the third faction on the way, the Illuminates, which are from the previous game. They're on the way in at some point.
Yeah.
So I would be shocked if we didn't end up running across like a rebel faction that's fighting against Super Earth. I would not be surprised.
Some other humans to fight against. I wonder if that's gonna. Ooh, that could be interesting.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Because
I
right
mean,
now we're just murdering mindless robots and hive mind bugs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Getting with
I mean-
the people thing though kind of changes the tone a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible to get it in there. I mean, we'll see.
There's also other like sci-fi to reference here, right? Like we could see a very Star Wars-esque alien race come in. I've noted a few times like the Charger rolling you over, just like the way the alien rolls over Anakin in Attack of the Clones when they're in the Coliseum. Like it is a
Yeah.
one-to-one. Like all the like half the costumes look like stormtroopers or Mandalorians. You know what I
The
mean?
automatons are about to get fucking AT-ATs, dude.
Right, yeah. Like I could absolutely see more Star Wars influence. I could see the Thing influence. Maybe we get a like kind of virus amoeba, kind of microscopic feeling race added in because I think there's
Aliens as well.
xenomorph. Yeah.
That'd be fun. To do like a October Halloween special where it's like there's this one planet, LV 426. Everybody go destroy it.
And this
Yeah.
this also assumes this is something I love to pontificate on. So Fortnite is like, huge and they have access to everything. That is the way games are leaning, right? What if the fifth space in Helldivers is like a promoted space? Like we fight the actual Yautja from Predator. Like that is like an event space for the summer, right? And then that wipes. And then maybe the next summer we do like the mutants from that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Total Recall. You know what I mean? Like, like a mutant Total Recall race. Like it could have event slots within our universe to like do tie-in crossover stuff.
We could
Sky's
cross
the
over with
limit.
Ender's Game, Speaker
Yeah.
for
Dude.
the Dead, and fight the piggies.
The Ender's Game crossover. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see. I mean, we've talked about how much is in the game and how the stuff that's going to be added to the game. Let's talk about things we want to see added to the game. Just like pie in the sky. What would you like to see added in? What would you like? Enemies, weapons, vehicles. What would you like to see?
I would love to see a low airspace hover carrier that is essentially a nom chopper. It just like 4 hover things on it. It lifts you up like maybe 50 feet off the ground to get above Bile Titans and whatever. All 3 extra people can jump inside. There's like a mounted gun in one side. I'm gonna crank the credence.
Yeah.
I'm going
Quadcopter.
a quadcopter.
quadcopter.
Yeah. That. I want a quadcopter so fucking bad.
That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you get up
Um,
there, but obviously it'll run out of fuel at some point, so you can only use it for a limited time. You got to balance it somehow.
Well, fuel runouts are maybe like only on 15-minute levels. Like you don't get a quad on a
Yeah.
40-minute level where you need to be hoofing it or something like that.
Or flying enemies spawn more often.
But
Yeah.
I'm even thinking like the defend levels, having 2 people flying around while you're defending
Yeah.
citizens. Dog, like it is
Yeah.
multi-useful. I would love a
Yeah.
quadcopter. Thank you for giving me the
But
word
it-
for that. A quadcopter sounds
But
good.
but it'll be a lot easier to kill your own teammates if you're firing from a distance up above.
You gotta
so
communicate. You gotta let
Yeah.
people. You need an intelligence officer to tell you where people are posted up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This one's going to kind of change the game a little bit, but I think that some people should be allowed to actually be the Eagle pilots.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
fly
when
rescue.
other players are calling in an Eagle pilot, you're kind of just sitting there waiting for the call in, right? And then you're like, oh, I'm the pilot, and here's where they've put the beacon. I'm going to release the bombs there.
Ooh, what if that got combined with like a mission control thing where like you get the map, you could be like calling where people are on the map.
Yeah, the top-down strategy, like the commander.
Yeah. And then
You're the recon guy up in the ship.
and
You're
then
the
an
recon
eagle
guy
gets
in the ship.
called and you get dropped down in as the eagle and then you fly back up as soon as the pass is over. That'd be so fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
adding a fifth player basically would be
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
interesting, and you could kind of, they could call in for help, but then you could kind of change it a little bit so that you have a little bit of control over where you're actually landing, the
Ooh.
ordnance.
Then your Helldiver could get loaded out whenever you run out of lives, and you could be up on the ship and watch the intelligence officer until the counter runs down to shoot you back down to the planet.
Mm.
Oh yeah, reinforcement a little, less over the shoulder, like spectator cam,
Right.
and more active spectation.
Exactly.
I like
Nice.
that idea too.
Yeah. I would love larger teams, teams of 6
That
or 8.
yeah.
I would really, really appreciate that. I mean, I know 4 is like a good number, but 6 to 8, I mean, I feel like they got to do it at some point because there's a lot of maps that are just like huge.
There's a lot of I don't want to say a lot of, there are a few other games that do stuff like that where they will split you up into, you're still in your squad of 4, but
Mhm.
they pair you up with another squad of 4, or
Mm.
up to 2 other squads, we'll say, and you have to complete objectives in tandem. So like my squad has to do this thing that creates the scenario for the next team to be able to do their thing. And so you still have to kind of work together, but you also still work, independently towards a bigger objective. And then I don't know, maybe we add in a boss fight at the end.
Ooh, I've heard rumors of the Hive Lord boss fight being potentially the push for the end of whatever the season is for them, and giving us like a 250 or 50,000 HP boss that we have to like multi-team
Yeah.
on. That would be so
we
fun.
we end up on Arrakis. We have to kill a sandworm.
Listen, I heard we lost Hellmeyer. I haven't been on yet, but did Hellmeyer fall?
I love this in-game narrative that's been pushed by the guy that's supposedly running this thing.
It's taken us
If
an
you guys-
hour to get to Joel.
If you
Yes,
guys
it
think the
has.
game's too hard, blame Joel. Some
Blame Joel.
asshole. Some asshole is running this fucking shit and just creates scenarios and just like says, "Oh, this ought to piss them off."
Do you know what I hope? I hope he doesn't even play the game. I hope he's like not a gamer, doesn't actively get in there with anybody. He's just like, no. They hired me in to tell this story, and I actually fucking hate this game. So I just
Seth,
punishing
I'm
us.
imagining him exactly in the chair that you suggested for the admiral of all of the fleets, right? But he's the admiral, but for the other team.
Yes, exactly.
You know what it is? It's the oh god, it was oh god, fuck, I just lost it. God damn it.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. I'll come back to it. Don't worry about it.
I have a quick question, maybe to distract us for just a moment here.
Sure.
What is your can't live without it stratagem? Because I'll tell you mine
Ooh.
first.
Yeah, please.
Right now, mine is the Eagle Airstrike, because again, it's got that versatility of being able to kill bugs, being able to put it on some serious hurt on bigger bugs,
Mm.
and being able to take out the bug holes, or on the automaton side, same thing.
Yeah.
Can take out the factories. I struggle to choose anything else in its place.
I always go for the rail cannon strike. Rail cannon it's good at taking out chargers with one shot. It can 75% of the time take out a Bile Titan with one shot. It's very effective. The only negative is that if you end up like under a rock face, it'll block your shot.
Yeah.
But the orbital laser, while it's good for clearing the smaller stuff, it's not great for doing the bigger stuff. It doesn't really kill Bile Titans very quickly. Chargers, it takes forever, and it sets them on fire. So if it hits you, not only are you rolling down the hill like an egg, you're also now on fire.
Right.
So, rail cannon strike is the one I'm just like, yeah, that comes with me every single time, no matter
Okay.
what.
I
What
respect
about you,
that.
Seth?
Man, I want to say it is a ship stratagem, but if I'm being honest, thinking back on all my streams, it would be inaccurate for me to say that the Gatling turret is not my. I think I take it
Yeah.
on 99% of missions.
I expected you to say some sort of turret, and I was pretty confident that the Gatling turret was your favorite one.
I have been favoring the autocannon lately because I've seen it do some real damage to the chargers.
Yeah.
But truly, I like it for the spray and pray, set it and forget it. This will kill at least 35 of the small guys and get them off my back, and I don't have to care about them. I think it's the peace of mind that it gives me, that just if I have an extra slot, I'll get my orbital, I'll get my support gun, I'll get like some kind of, extra shield pack or something, and then I'll get to the last one, I'll go, it's Gatling turret, isn't it? It's just going to be Gatling turret.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah.
I can definitely respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see them add into the game like an actual Gatling gun you can carry around, like Jesse Ventura in Predator. This
Yeah.
one-time use. Once it runs out of ammo in its backpack, that's it. Chuck it. It's done.
Yeah.
So you're saying it comes down with a backpack. It's got just a boatload of ammo in the backpack.
Yep.
Belt,
But you
belt
move
fed,
slower
no
and it
reload.
Yeah, no reload, and you move a little
Nice.
slower. Once it's out, done.
I would also imagine it can jam from overextended use.
Overheat.
Yeah. That would be pretty fair. But yeah,
Yeah,
oh
we
my
could
god.
definitely balance it with that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I've got a hot take from TikTok I'd like to discuss with y'all.
Go for it.
So along these lines, people are saying that bugs are harder at the harder levels. Josh, you disagreed with that earlier. What's your take on high level automatons versus high level terminids?
So we're talking what tier 9, right?
Yeah, let's
On
go.
the hell
Let's
dive
suicide
difficulty?
mission and up. Probably, I would say are the ones in discussion here.
So I can kind of see where they're coming from, because if you're increasing the frequency of bug breaches, and bug breaches launch a lot of dudes and you can't stop it,
Right.
Yeah.
I can see it getting very overwhelming. Even at suicide mission level 7 that we were playing the other day,
Yeah.
good lord, we were getting swarmed.
Yeah.
And I played a couple of days even before that with my other buddies, and it was just hellish because there's just so many enemies. So I can imagine, since I haven't really done 8s and 9s yet, that it's just more of it. It's just more and more and more.
The Helldiver ones are like 6+ Bile Titans at a time. Like they get pretty
Yeah.
raunchy.
I've been in
Yeah.
situations with 4 or 5 Bile Titans, and I've gotten, I think we had 7 or 8 chargers on screen at one time, and it's just absurd. It's just absurd. We all just end up running around chickens with our heads cut off, and that timer just ticks down.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that. I feel like the bots are a little bit tamer, but when you get more bots, you're getting shot at.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're getting shot at from every different damn direction, and all that extra range. I don't know. That's an interesting trade-off.
Yeah.
But here's
But
the
because
thing
I
about
think
the
they're
bots, though.
hardier. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, here's the thing about the bots, though. You can take out their reinforcements.
Right. That's
You
what I
can
was. I'm
stop-
sorry.
you
That's what
can
I was getting
stop
at with
the
the bug
spawning.
breach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can shoot down their airships.
Yeah. As opposed to the bug holes that pop up. It's like you can't stop that. They're just going to keep coming out of that hole. There's no way to stop it.
Different game,
Right.
different strategy. Wild.
Right, and that 4-inch wide hole, a Bile Titan is going to come out of it. You know it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I will. That is pretty hilarious. Yeah. That's a little odd. But if they tried
it's
to
a bit
have
of
like
absurdism, but I get it.
if they tried to make it a quadruple A game like Skull and Bones, they would have to like do physics for the ground, and they'd have to have a giant hole there, and you could get stuck. And yeah,
And then
like,
they'd have to cull more stuff on the
Yeah.
screen so they
Yeah.
could handle it. Yeah.
it would kill the memory of the mission. It would run at like 20 frames a second. It would kill everything. So
This
it's
is
like-
a delicate
Right.
balance, isn't it? To have so much on screen at once and it
yeah.
not be just absolutely crashing the game out.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is demanding. It is very demanding on the software, and they have done an exceptional job with it. I mean, it just came out not too long ago, right? Like a month now?
Right.
And that's the idea is that they've been working on a game that they know has to be able to run on a lot of people's machines. So they've had to be very clever about how they make all of this work so that the game is playable on older machines. And I won't say I have an older machine. I have a decently powerful machine, but it handles it really well for it being a 5-year-old computer that's working on hardware that's now 8 years old.
Yeah. Or even the fact that there's crossplay between PlayStation and
It-
PC.
yes.
You can crossover.
And it works
Yeah.
great just right out of the box. I don't
Right.
have to be upset that I'm playing with, cross-platform, because the platform doesn't matter. Like, we're all friends, everything works. Having crossplay turned on doesn't degrade my experience.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that reminds me that there was years ago, Bungie pitched a sequel to ODST that was going to be this, a Halo ODST sequel. It was going to be basically this, and Microsoft turned it down because they were like, that would never sell. Microsoft just making dumb decisions the last like 10 years, haven't they?
Oh boy.
Oh
I
man.
feel like almost every action-oriented nerd space could benefit from a game like this.
Yeah.
I'm not. I never want to wish like over inundation on a market, but this is one of my favorite styles of games. Like, there's a reason I'm hooked on this in a way that I haven't been hooked on games since Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. I actively stay up late to play this sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With my rough schedule in the last
Yes,
month, I'm like,
I
I'm
will
staying up
sacrifice
late.
my sleep for this. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now-
so I'm just ODST feels like a loss for sure, but I think about Star Wars doing something with this. I think about Marvel doing something with this for all how blasé so many of their games have been. Beyond the Spider-Man games, I do like the
I
Spider-Man.
mean, they tried doing it with that Avengers game. How'd that work out?
Again, like that's the idea here, but it's not on display like this because I don't remember my friends asking me to become an Avenger with them. You know what I mean?
Well, because
Yeah,
everybody
right.
hated it.
Right.
Yeah.
We have another game coming out later this year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed. Certainly not delayed any further. Space Marine 2. And that's
Oh,
taking
yeah.
place in the
40K.
Warhammer 40K universe.
Yeah.
So give me a Warhammer game or Warhammer anything in the vein of Helldivers like this,
yeah.
and you're just purging Xenos across the galaxy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is Warhammer and what Warhammer should be doing with their IP.
Yeah.
So
Warhammer's
lots of
gotten-
crossover opportunity. Space Marine being able to do things like this. The one thing I would bring over from it is the seamless interaction of melee into a
Oh,
shooter game.
yeah.
Yeah. The melee in this game is a little weak.
Super lackluster, but give me a
Yeah.
chainsword.
I heard they're adding knives. I even saw some of the what is supposed to be like leaked mesh from the game to like show the build for it. I'd be down for a knife. I'm curious if this is like Crocodile Dundee, like that's not a knife, this is a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of those things where it's like better for the lower tiered enemies, but would be useless for bigger shit. Unless
That's
you
when
got up
gotta
real
give me
close
the
to those.
hammer.
Unless you got up real close to that charger's ass and just stabbed him in the
Well,
ass.
that's
like,
the
you
thing.
know.
This is PS5, and they've mentioned like the joints specifically are how you take down big bugs if you're not aiming for a head, right? So like maybe there's like joint weakness to knives, and that would imagine being able to just yank the Achilles on a charger and send it sliding.
Or
I mean,
kind
it
of
already
like
has the limp
it kind of
animation.
hobbles along instead of
Right,
like fully dying.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got the limp animation. He's got the bleed. The blades could cause bleed and things like that.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for that. And I think I still want a two-handed hammer as well that I could pull out and crunch a shell
Oh,
and remove some armor.
yeah, hammer would be cool.
Yeah.
See, that's where you get back into the Halo stuff because Halo had great melee weapons for their
Yeah, the
setup.
gravity hammer. Yeah, that thing was awesome.
The gravity hammer, the
Yeah.
electric sword, the elite swords, those things were. I was lethal with
Mhm.
the swords, man.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered one other thing I wanted to add in. The voice that you hear when you launch out of the ship, change that to the voice of Gladys from Portal. I would love that, please.
That'd be fun. Oh my god.
That'd be funny. That'd be cute. Because they used that actress in Pacific Rim whenever the Jaegers would start up. I was like, just use that here, too. So, why not?
Oh, I'm sure they have the funds for it now too. So
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I'm happy this is not just found an audience, but like it pulled away people from other more horrible games. Like COD is like dying slowly,
and
and
that
although
other game we were talking about earlier, right? I mean, a lot of
yeah, and that crap, yeah, but there is unfortunately a slightly shitty attitude to some of the player base. That's always going to happen. like people not realizing that it's satire. Like, you guys realize this is a joke, right?
Right.
Do you not get the point?
There are some people getting the point so much that they want to play into it. You know, like that. I think
Yeah.
it's a wraparound aspect of like, well, if I play into being a Helldiver, then I wouldn't want to break character, and so that means I do
Yeah.
believe the things that this Helldiver believes.
Well,
Uh,
that being said, you know, if Spielman was actually there on Malevolent Creek, it probably wouldn't have fallen, the fucking asshole.
I really wouldn't put that whole planet on him. I truly would not. I was there when it fell,
Yeah. Where were you when the creek fell?
and I was face down in the creek as it fell.
Oh god, I love it. That was just like those harder difficulties on those tougher planets. It becomes a fucking war of attrition. If you can make it another
Dude.
50 feet to your objective, it is a win.
yeah, yes.
It's
That's why
Dude.
it's best to just cut and run sometimes. Just make up
Yeah.
the ground because
Right.
it makes all the difference.
it was a
Just
sad
run.
it was a sad animation. The last run that I got on the creek before it fell, and it was like, this planet has fallen, and I was like, whoa, I feel personally responsible for this.
You were the last holdout. You were the final Spartan on Reach before it went down, and you failed. Damn.
It was funny because right after that round ended, I was just like quick playing onto people's things, and I quick played into the just the next automaton closest planet. Everyone in the chat was like, "Dog, I was on the planet when it went down." Like we were all getting our last missions out. It was so
Right.
sad.
Oh, God. The meta narrative that surrounds this thing is just so much fun.
Oh.
I've never seen this kind of like discourse surrounding a game, like the meta narrative surrounding it.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before. you
I mean,
know?
sometimes when my friends are inviting me to play the game, they're like, "Hey, are you ready to spread some democracy?"
Yeah.
Like, I know what they're talking about. I
Right.
know what we're doing, and you know, we're participating in the story. We're making our own story, and we're letting it leak into our real lives to
Yeah.
give us new phrases and fun things to say.
I think that the heart of what we're getting at here is within the gleeful violence of the game not being turned on each other, right?
Yeah.
Like the game itself, if you hold the trigger for long enough on any weapon, your
You battle
character
cry.
starts screaming, right?
Yeah.
Like that is
I love it.
gleeful violence on as
Mhm.
big of a level as you could possibly want. Hey man, if you want more shit on screen, go to the harder levels. You know, and you'll have more shit to shoot at.
Tits off!
I
Mhm.
think that is so like there's a pure fun to that, and the fact
Yeah.
that it's not turned on each other. We're not mowing down galleons of our friends. It makes it so
Right.
approachable. It's like we can all kind of hold hands together as Helldivers and look into the void together.
Mhm.
It's like cynically unifying.
Here's an interesting idea I just had. Maybe it's a thought experiment for us here. What if FromSoft made this game?
Ooh.
Oh, dude, it's hard enough.
Okay, all right. Let's say that they just keep the difficulty as is. All right, like they keep how the basic gameplay and combat works, right? How do invasions work?
Oh man. Well, number one, the satire would be gone. I can tell you that right now. They would take it super seriously, which is not really what this game should be. It should be Starship Troopers. It should be funny and over the top.
It'd be more
Um,
grim, dark.
It'd be
fantasy.
grim and dark. It'd be Bloodborne. It'd just be that. You know?
Dude,
Sure,
Bloodborne
sure,
in
sure.
space. Stop spitting fire over there. That sounds awesome.
Right.
I know it sounds awesome, but
I'm
that's not
enjoying
what
this
this.
already.
That's not what this game should be at all.
Archer, I can
Um,
only get so erect.
But God, the invasions. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know because all the way in which like you encounter enemies in those games is that they're in a basic animation path, and you just encounter them. They're not like spawning around you. So
I want to make sure I'm understanding the question correctly. Do you mean invasions like Elden Ring style, where players are dropping into your game?
like Dark Souls, like Elden Ring, like Demon Souls, where you have a red phantom has now joined the game.
Right.
oh, like bringing
A
in
rogue.
bringing in partners or bringing in enemies. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like a rogue diver lands on your planet.
So it's
And
not
He's not working for the Federation.
It's not PvE, it's PvF. You can't do it to anybody else's games, but like you could drop in on just your friends. That would be so fun.
You play like a mercenary or a smuggler that's trying to steal the weapons off of your
Ooh.
other
Oh
people
yeah,
in the
just
game.
collecting the weapons, not necessarily out for samples, but we're there for the ordnance and the weapons.
Yeah.
And the
You're
Yeah.
secretly working for the rebel faction, and you try to take it back to them in order to give them ammunition and weapons.
there you go. It
That's-
ties into your rebel faction. So now,
There you go.
we add the rebel faction. You're the fourth faction,
Ooh.
right? And you get to invade, but you only get to do 1 or 2 because you're rebel against a 1 to 4 man team.
Yeah,
Damn.
that'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah.
give like a character like a cloaking ability. You can sneak up behind some of them at one point. You
So
get
they
one,
said they
you get
didn't-
one free kill.
And,
So
and
they
then
said they didn't want to PvP, right? But here we're gonna add it and just kind of figure out how it works.
then by the time you're getting to like the promoted content, you change the rebel to a Yautja, and now you could play as the predator versus player.
There you go.
Listen, like this is a very functional idea.
I hope somebody from Arrowhead is listening to this because we're like giving you free content. These are all your ideas. You can
Dude.
have them.
Like in the Star Wars crossover, you get to play as Darth Vader against a crew of 4. Like, can you imagine the pants shitting moment you would have if
Be the last 10 minutes of Rogue One.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm not scared about the Bile Titan. Darth Vader's fucking here.
Jesus. Oh God, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Giving gold
I-
away.
yeah.
Right.
The random events that occur in this game just to grab your attention and just make this just like spike the enjoyment of it, even though it's like chaos everywhere. When me and Mike were playing one mission on Malevolent Creek, and we were calling in our evac, and you screamed out, "Oh my God, they have a fucking tank!" And it rolled onto the fucking landing pad and sat there, and we're like, "What the fuck do we do?" None of us had an anti-tank rifle. None of us. I think you like shot it in the grill on the back. All the big enemies have weak points.
Yeah,
so
yeah, you
I
gotta
think-
climb up on top of it, but that shit was harrowing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's random shit like that, and we finally got it, and we got the ship down to the landing pad, and we got out. Like little things like that just make the game feel so good because there's always at least 1 or 2 in every mission,
Yeah.
Well,
every
shoot,
time.
even outside the gameplay loop, like in the hell diving aspect where you're in your little 1-man bullet coming down to the planet,
Yeah,
you've got those the loading screen tips. I mean, they're delightful and colorful. They
Yeah.
add a whole lot.
if
of
at first
atmosphere.
you dive again and again and again and again.
and again and again. Exactly. Now, have you sat idle on your ship and watched the propaganda videos?
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those. They added those in after the first patch. I love that. That's
Brash
great.
tactics.
I love it.
Oh, when this game came out, it was pretty bare bones. There wasn't a lot. It was pretty like simple. It was straightforward. I mean, there was stuff in the game, but it was pretty like it'd be fun for a nice diversion.
I feel
But
like
it just grabbed everybody, and people just wouldn't let go because they're just like they were promising more stuff, and they delivered real fucking fast. Which again, look at No Man's Sky. It took like a year and a half to put out any new content. It just makes that entire development team look way worse because the size of that team was about the same as Arrowhead. So there really was no excuse.
yeah, I think the greater point here is like every opportunity they've had since the game has come out to prove themselves to be good developers, they've taken the opportunity. Like to come out and say like, don't buy the game while it's not working. Let us get our feet under us before you start
Right.
buying the game again. Or hey, it's not about. They have come out and said it is not about the meta. We want you to have fun with all the guns.
Mhm.
Like
Right,
Actually,
and that's the-
sorry, Dakota, I take back
That's
that thing about the team. Apparently, there's only 26 people at Hello Games. Never mind. Okay, I apologize.
Yeah. I was curious about that. I knew Hello Games was a tiny company.
I didn't realize it was that small. I mean, I guess in that case, I can kind of forgive it, but still, it's like you can't release a game with no fucking content, dude.
Well, and they had an
Rough.
engine that worked. That's why they
Yeah.
ran so fast. Like in Hello Games' case, I think they ran quick because they had a great engine. But you're right, they didn't have enough game in their game yet. This came out, even though, like you say, bare bones, but there was still, I think, like 12 different mission types when we started.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there was still missions.
I feel like it's a different game every time I log in with the added mission types or the changes to the missions that happen. Like it feels constantly refreshing. It feels like I'm not falling into like the Left 4 Dead loop of, oh, I know there will be guns up ahead in a minute because this sequence has just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Left 4
And I
Dead
think the
eventually got
care-
old.
The care
Yeah.
with which the CEO and the dev team and everything else communicates with the community and provides that transparency, and then for the hell of it, they decide to just mess with us. Like,
Right.
that's cool as hell. Like, they are really taking the time to understand their audience and know what their audience wants.
Like basically the way they announce things in the game now is releasing it as propaganda and then just confirming
that.
it to be propaganda. And that's your double blind confirmation. Like as soon as this one of the developers was like, there are no flying enemies. That is propaganda. That's like pro Terminid.
I wake up this morning and they fucking swarm me.
That was them announcing it. Like the propaganda is the announcement. I think it's
the minute
funny.
they deny it, that is the confirmation that it exists.
Yeah.
And I love that because they're playing into their own game.
Right.
I will say I was in a Patriot suit when they did swarm me, so I was okay. So they can't get into the
fine.
Yeah, that was fine. But yeah, I will say that they're not really tough. They're just kind of an annoyance. They just kind of swipe at you and fly away. They're not really difficult. You take them out in like 3 or 4 shots. They're not too tough.
Is that something you think will evolve and we'll start needing like ground to air weapons?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that one thing I would love is a Rocketeer style jetpack. We've already have the jump packs, but I'd love like a Rocketeer style jetpack so you can kind of go over the map. Yeah, something like that where you can get in the sky for a little more time, but you're vulnerable to a lot of attacks on the ground, like Bile Titans or the Spewers or a lot of automaton fire. Like it's a risk going up there, but if you are able to make it work, you could do some real damage from above.
I've been thinking about the like extended flight jetpack and how to make it fair. You can't use a support weapon while you're flying.
Oh, just your basic weapon, your basic main,
just your primary and secondary.
Yeah.
And
Or
still
you
dropping
pick
grenades.
or you pick up a weapon in the map. You can't use one that's actually been brought in as a support weapon. Like if you find an anti-tank rifle,
no, I think it should
in the map.
I think it should take your second hand slot, so you can one hand.
Oh, as a joystick to fly
as
around.
a joystick to fly. So it would just prevent you from being able to use a two-handed.
Okay, so you could only
support.
use SMGs and pistols then.
Sure.
Like you're carrying the SSD or the package.
Like while you're you shouldn't be able to shoot and fly. You should be able to fly to a spot, then pull your support weapon out and shoot it, and then fly to another spot.
Yeah. Jump into a bug hole area, throw your grenades, get out as fast as possible.
Exactly. That would be a great use. For
I love the fact that we're thinking up ways to nerf the fucking game.
Well, it is
like,
Game Rescue Show, right? We got to do a little
I know,
bit
but
of
that's
rescue.
no, but that's the thing is like that's why. But we're not shitting on anybody's ideas. We're not being like, oh, we can't use a support weapon with a jetpack. Well, yeah, because it would make the game too fucking easy. Like we're saying, yes, keep it hard.
Needs to be balance around it.
Yeah, keep it balanced, keep it hard, keep it like grueling sometimes. Because there are times when I'm in maps and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, stop spawning. Jeez, fuck off already.
Right.
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get away from a bomb.
There was 2 nukes, those random nukes you find that haven't exploded.
Yeah.
I found 2 of those. I found 2 of those side by side.
Yep.
And I just set one off and it lit the other one and lit the other one off.
Makes for big booms.
So,
it was great.
I'm curious if they're going to add a achievement for landing on a nuke, because I'll be mad if they do, because it's already happened to me. So I want my retroactive achievement. I've accidentally dropped in on the nuke before, and that is just rough.
That should definitely be an achievement, being killed within 5 seconds of your hellpod landing. Like,
oh
yeah. Oops, that shouldn't have happened. I don't know. Let's just say someone throws in a space laser right as you're landing out of your hellpod, and they kill you immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that that's ever happened to us.
Yeah. Call that achievement dive and dive again.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Spawn kill. Hell yeah! What a great like high contestant for game of the year, right? This is like
Oh God, yeah. This is
absolutely in
gonna
the
be hard
conversation.
pressed. Hard pressed to
sure.
beat this.
My thing is I'm gonna be such an asshole at our end of the year wrap up because my whole thing about the last few years of gaming has been it's been way too plot driven, it's been way too story driven. It's like I have to
This
play
is
I have to play God of War not because it's a finely crafted game, but because it's a cool story in a movie, and it's like I feel like we've lost it. I felt like we had lost the thread, and then here comes Helldivers dropping into our laps, forgive the pun, and the game is like, no fucking plot, no fucking story, you make the story. It's your game. Go play a video game. And it's just
The
about like
game's fun first.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
And then add story.
a game
This-
being a
yeah.
fun game before it's anything else. And so that's why it's going to be hard pressed to be topped for me. Is like I don't get addicted to games like this because they're often so narratively driven. Like I haven't gone back to play Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Miles Morales because I'm done. I saw the story. The gameplay loop isn't giving me like complicated missions to drop into and play for 40 minutes like this does.
Yeah. Like I mean, there's another game rescue that Mike wanted to do with me, which was Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. He wanted to do that as a game rescue. I haven't touched that in a month because I've been so deep into Helldivers, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, fuck off, Mike. I want to play Helldivers. Here's how you fix Crisis Core. Make it Helldivers. There, done. I am so sick.
Dude,
Stories
a Final
in games now.
Fantasy Helldiver style game, I'd be so fucking down.
I'd be in.
Run around on a chocobo, kill fantasy creatures, do little missions, get out. Absolutely. Anything to get the fucking couch co-op going again. Even if we're not on the same couch, god damn it.
It just feels so satisfying to work as a team.
Yeah.
You know, just you're working for the same objective. If you like we said earlier on, like the assholes that would kill off people on the landing pad to take the samples, not realizing if one person picks it up, everybody gets one. It's like you are encouraged to work together.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
I saw a TikTok earlier today that I really liked, and it was a high-level guy talking about how to play the game at a high level, and his video goes on to say, crank it down to easier levels, take all your cool-ass stratagems and link up with low-level players, give them all the cool stuff for a round to tease them with how good the game's going to be, and you'll have constant recidivism of people coming back and staying in the game. When you get high level, go back down to trivial and easy and drop in on a quick play and be like, hey, here's a mech. Have fun.
Right.
You don't get the mech for another 40 levels, right? So, like, fuck around with a mech for a day.
Right.
That's how you build out your community from here. So I'm going to be doing that on my streams. I'm going to start doing end of the night easy stream.
Parody streams.
Drop in on a little easy play, level 40, just give out a bunch of toys, and then the challenge from there, you have to play with only your primary and support weapon. You don't get a support. You don't get stratagems. You don't get cool stuff. You have to prove your fucking mettle and your level at that point. I loved that video, so I'm gonna try it on the streams.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome, dude.
You get a mech, and you get a mech, and you get a mech. I'm the Oprah of the Helldivers world.
I had my higher level buddy when I had my grenade launcher. It didn't have a backpack, and so he would come in with the force field backpack and just drop that for everybody.
Hell yeah!
Every time it was up, and then everybody had the backpack. Only one person had to bring it, but everyone got to use it.
Exactly. As soon as it's ready, drop it for anybody that can use it. Yeah.
Just another one. Here's another one.
I love that. Our teamwork culture in Helldivers is strong.
That's right.
Well,
so what is absolutely up next for the big release of Helldivers? What's the next big thing that's coming? Like, is it the APCs? Is that what's on the way? I know there's new missions.
I think
opening
it's more vehicles is what they've been teasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I've been looking it up, and there's nothing that's really. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's recent except for the update today, which kind of cleaned up some patches and added the flying enemies.
Well, and we're falling into like a niche little category here too. Like there's a lot of people playing and a lot of people making content around it, but like a lot of these people are looking at the developers like social media and things like that to find what is coming
Mhm.
next. Like I'm not seeing major announcements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing like big
Right.
sweeping announcements. So the next thing that I know of is the Hive Lords and the AT-AT style walkers. They're gonna add
The
like
Titan. Yeah,
like
the Titans.
like
yeah.
boss level bad guys to some missions, and maybe that's only higher up missions. So
Yeah.
encourages
Some
us
some
to.
some concept art of the Illuminates got leaked out. I
Oh
did see
yeah,
some
the
of that.
Illuminated concept art. I'm curious if they don't save that until they've like maybe finished up a little bit of the storytelling around the Terminids and automatons.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's a big galaxy out there. Oh, another thing I want to do. I want to fight on Super Earth. It's
That's-
sitting right there in
That's
the middle
gotta
of the map,
happen
man.
eventually, right?
It's got to happen eventually. At some point, there's got to be a mass invasion. You got like bugs and automatons and Illuminates all fighting at the same time, and you're just getting swarmed. That's the place where you put the big team battle. That's where you put your 8-player maps.
Yeah.
Mm.
Make it a raid. And,
Yeah.
and the factions even fight each other to a degree where the lines meet.
The AI will infight where you're trying to complete your
Right.
objectives and you get caught in the middle of it. Oh, that'd be so fucking dope. That'd be
Especially
awesome.
especially if the maps are like cities and
Urban, yeah.
urban kind of layouts, because
Yeah, different from everything we've seen before.
well,
Yeah.
it pushes, especially if we're running what you guys are pitching, where like you're getting multiple bad guys at a time. Let's just run with the 2 that we have right now. Imagine
Right.
getting pinned down in a like street shootout with the automatons, and then a Terminid swarm comes out of a building. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right.
2 different styles of fighting that have to happen at once there.
Well-
That's scary.
Well, then I feel like you would enjoy the game Earth Defense Force.
I do love me some EDF.
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
I do
EDF
love
is
me
one of
some
my
EDF.
favorite series, and the fact
Yeah.
that they combine bugs and robots and giant frog people.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's kind of getting me vibes back to Halo 2 and 3, or I'm sorry, the first 2 levels of Halo 2. I should clarify before they cheaped out and made another remake of Halo. Where it's the war on Earth, and it's just like you have the Flood and the Covenant and humans all fighting at the same time, and the Flood
Yeah.
and the Covenant, they'll infight with each other.
Right.
Right.
Well, you're caught in the middle. Like that, you're kind of getting to that, but it never felt big enough. Now they can finally do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can see that totally awesome battle simulator matchup of the Hive versus a tank. I say Hive, I meant the big Bile Titans versus a tank.
I would love
Oh,
to
yeah.
see that.
Hell of a showdown to watch.
He's
Mm.
squirting his bile down. They're aiming the gun up. The bullets piercing up through. Hell yeah.
Oh,
I
God.
have one last ask for the game. But goddamn, this would be rough.
What is it?
Kaiju level threats.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Why not? I mean, dude, they did that shit in the new Armored Core. Why not?
Right?
Like, why
Right.
not? Like when you have to take on that big walker, that big sand crawler thing.
Right.
They did it there. No reason you can't.
That's
the whole mission is get up to the top of it, take out the central core of it, and blow it up and get out.
Right.
Yeah. Extinction level threats. Let's do it.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm so here for it. Like a giant
yeah.
centipede dune worm that you gotta like board, and then there's like the little guys crawling out of its scales like mites, and you gotta clear waves and waves of them to fight your way up to the front.
Yeah,
Hell
and,
yeah.
and multiple missions where you got to take out the rear, you got to take out the middle sections, you got to take out the head section. Like,
Yeah.
Like imagine like tying this into the storytelling of the game. One of our favorite moments of Jesse and I streaming together is launching the first nuke and just standing there going,
Whoa.
Im-
oh, it's so
imagine
beautiful.
you're launching a nuke to like cause a landslide onto a kaiju, right? Like your
Right.
your little guys on the field have big impact, and then you see the effect of that, or like automaton side, you launch a nuke to take out a low orbit cruiser,
Mhm.
just
Right.
that massive level. I would love it. I'm so here for it.
Right. I mean,
Y-
if that's the end of the
yeah.
objective, right? Instead of just launching a nuke, mindlessly to the other side of the planet, if
Yeah.
you're hitting something and you can see it in the distance and you can see it happening, like even that is just cool animation
Right.
that you can feel like you've contributed to the demise of this bigger level threat.
And then this feeds directly into like map development because we could have downed ships as a level. And as instead of doing like a huge widespread desert, you get a downed ship, or you get the
Yeah, you're in a derelict and you're in a crawling through the corridors.
right, or like one of your kaiju-sized terminids goes down, and its corpse is now a kind of chewed out from other bugs and is turned into its own
Bugs
kind
are
of
reclaiming it and
right.
and hollowing it
Hmm.
out, and you got to go inside.
You got to clear out the eggs from its internal systems.
That reminds me of Gears of War 2 when you have to go inside the giant worm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, which was a
Yep.
huge, with like the only good set piece in the second game. It's like, but it's not long enough. It's like one level. That this should be like 3 levels. Like this worm is huge. Why am I not making
Dude.
this a big thing?
Next time
Yeah.
you talk to Devin, you have to ask him about playing through all the Gears of War front to back in one sitting.
Oh Jesus Christ,
Oh my
dude! Dude,
God.
only 3 of them are worth it, man. I mean, honestly, I would say only like 2 are worth it. Really.
I was not present for that one. I that was he and I first started living together, and I hid back in my room because I was like, I can't do. I think it was 5 games in a row. I can't watch
6. It's 6.
6.
6 games.
Jesus Christ.
Because Judgment is a prequel to the first game.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Wild.
So. Yeah.
Well, I feel like we could easily do 90 more minutes on Helldivers, just regaling our war stories.
I'd rather
100%.
play it. Damn
Well,
it.
let's
right.
let's exit on one last war story each. Just these moments are what sell the game for me. So, favorite quick little anecdote from your time in the field, soldiers. I'm curious about your war stories.
Well, I was playing with Blake one night, and he brought me along on a Helldiver mission. It was just me and him.
Ooh.
Two soldiers in the middle of a Helldiver mission, and it was bugged, and it was on Hellmire, so you were moving slow, and there was spore spewers everywhere, so you couldn't see shit.
That's awful. Oh my
It's-
god.
Awful. It was like swimming in puke. So we were moving through, and we completed all the objectives. We did it. We just didn't stop moving. We just there's the spore spewer. Shoot it with an auto cannon. Run. Don't even pick anything up. Just run. Because we knew the moment we stopped, they were gonna spawn. If you
Yeah.
keep moving, the spawn timer will eventually just reset into another area.
Yeah.
You just have to keep moving. So yeah, we did it. It was tough. We made it through. We had, I think, 5 Bile Titans at one point. And we
Jesus
somehow
Christ.
yeah, it
keep
was
running.
tough.
Just keep running.
Just keep running. Just keep
Exactly.
running. We did it though.
Wow. All right. Hard mode Jesse. That's why they call
God.
him Hardcore B Shot on Twitter.
That's why I would love to have a tank as an actual
That's right.
Yeah,
weapon to
yeah.
drive around. Means if the automatons can get one, I would like one now, please.
Right.
Right.
Josh, how about you? Give us regale us with a fireside story.
I like big numbers. I like lots of numbers, lots
Mm.
of seeing how much damage I'm doing, my accuracy, my shots fired, how many kills I got. Like
Yeah.
I judge my own personal progress on how well I can do. I'm not doing it as a way to be, I'm better than everyone else. It's my own personal progress. It's how I know I'm doing okay at the game.
I only race my own ghosts on Mario Kart because I'm the only one good enough to race me. No, yeah, I feel you. That's a good
Yeah,
way.
I'm trying not to say that too much.
Listen, I feel
But
you.
I want to be improving. I threw a grenade last night, and I killed 13 enemies at the same
I
time.
Oh, yeah?
remember that grenade last night.
And I was really excited about that. But I want to take you back a little bit farther. I want to go back to the first week that this game released, and I'm playing the game, and we're kind of blitzing through the difficulties because we want something a little bit more challenging. We wanted to get up to more enemies, and I believe we got to tier 5 challenge, and something happened. We were at a large bug. Whatever they're called, the where there's just 100 holes, right? There's just so many.
a
of them.
large bug nest.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, the bug nest there, and we get a bug breach at the same time.
Ooh.
And I can't remember what stratagem I threw, but I'm pretty sure it was either a space laser or some sort of napalm or something. And I ended up getting so many kills with that, all in a row, and I just kept chaining kills together. I got at the bottom of the screen the kill counter. I wish I would have recorded it. Bug kills times 50. And I was like,
Nice.
good God, because you can have like a breath in between a kill,
Yeah.
in between kills,
Yeah.
before it stops counting,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you don't get much time. But I got it up to 50, and I was like, I was just overjoyed. I was like, oh my God, I am the exterminator. Like this is, and
Yes.
as I was approaching, I was like at 43, 45, 47. I'm like, oh my God, I think there's gonna be an achievement for this, and there wasn't an achievement. I was really
Yeah.
disappointed.
Like I said, you don't get anything for the kills, man. You don't get
You
anything for the
don't,
kills.
and I was like, man, I love how many, but I was still very excited that I killed that many things in a row.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that was tough. So I don't know. It kind of made me feel like a badass. I have not been able to repeat that, but
High
we'll get
level
there.
high level
We'll get there.
combo multipliers is like such a gratifying feeling as a gamer. I
It's
like
such a rush.
those old Arkham games when you get
Yeah.
real
Oh,
into
get
the
up to
flow.
100 punches is an achievement.
Yeah.
and
Oh
one of
yeah,
the, yeah.
dude. I think I've chained together like 1,000 plus before in like the
Oh my
just
God.
the
That's so
unlimited
great.
bad guy levels that you can unlock, dude.
Yeah.
Like it you get into a flow and it just feels so good to just add on to it.
Yes.
Oh my god. I think it was on a hard drive mission where it like forces you onto your secondary weapon.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'd have to watch back on the stream. I got pursued by like 9 little bugs at once and I was running it on my own. So I turned around and did the like behind the back shoot and got 7 in a row. Like got it to combo up to 7. And I commented while streaming. I was like, that was perfect. Like just bing, 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 like taking him down
Just
at the
John
county
Wick
fair. I've never used any gun but the senator since, because I did it on the senator, and so I just felt like a fucking cowboy, just like 7 straight down the row. I was like, leave those other 2 to tell their friends, let them run away and be scared of me.
Yes.
I love the fact that that's an option in the game, that you can actually use your sidearm and just look backwards and shoot.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
The
Yes.
fact that they allow that, it's just like the little detail of like, oh yeah, if you need to run away and kill some things, just look backwards. You can't see what's in front of you, but you can see what's behind you.
Hey, it goes back to that diving into prone and then being able to be on your back and looking down through your feet and shooting
Yeah.
stuff. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. They put it in the game. I
Yeah.
love it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite get rid of those kangaroo jack motherfuckers, the worst fucking enemy ever created.
Yeah, we can delete
You-
those hunters.
Joel, you fuck. Stop
Let's
spawning
delete,
them.
Let's delete hunters. Thanks.
Hot take. I think they need to be nerfed a hair. I think they're too fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not only are they too fast,
Too
their
far.
jump is too far.
See,
They will
way
be
too far.
50 feet behind you and just like, oh, they're right next to you. Like it's too.
and it's a
they're too-
headshot. It's an instant headshot
yeah,
on
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
get out.
And not only that, when they swipe at you, they spew that
You're
gunk
stunned.
on you and they stun you and
Yeah.
slow you down. So you get hit by one of those, you're basically fucked on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, it's like if
that needs to go away.
I can handle like 3 chasing me before I'm actively like, oh my god, I think I'm going to die. Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
it caps so quick. Any
But
other
tier
bug,
7 and higher, there's like 50.
but like any other bug, drop me with like 5 chargers, and honestly, I'm just gonna be playing a little bit of pinball. Like I'm truly not going
Right.
to
Yeah.
get touched. 5 hunters on me, goddamn, I'm screaming like a little girl. I'm ah!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, when the game first
absolutely.
came out, they didn't sidestep. Now they sidestep.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
did try to flank you before, and I was like, oh, cool. They have this flanking mechanism for these guys and their AI. That's great.
Well,
But
now they're buffed
now
up to the
they,
point
like,
where they just don't even
oh.
care.
they're too fast, and they don't flank as
Yeah.
much, but they crab walk sideways, and
See,
I hate them.
Yeah.
I bring up kaiju in the game, and knowing Joel, he would probably do like a kaiju hunter. You know what I mean? Just like
Oh my
Rodan
god.
drops
I
down
would-
out of the sky.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would fucking rage quit. I'd be like,
Yeah.
nope. That's
Like,
it.
nope, I'll
Done,
wait
and
for that event
uninstall
to
the
be
game.
over.
I'm done.
I'll wait for that event to end, and then I'll come back and play.
Oh god.
Part of me wants it so bad now. Can you imagine just it gets dark on the field, and you look up, and it's taking out your ship up above you.
Here's how
no.
you do it. Takes out your ship. You have to wait for somebody else to come in to rescue you. Another
Yeah.
person's ship has to come in to
That's
rescue
another
you.
mission type. You have to get rescued.
missions.
Yeah.
Nice.
See if
Love
you can
it.
hold out long enough for another person to bring you home.
If we're adding game types, I would like defend the ship missions. I would honestly like
Ship invasion?
Yeah,
Yeah,
ship
ship invasion. Automatons break on the ship. That's automaton only mission. Yeah, there you go.
I
Yeah.
would dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to just use the ship as well. Just like you have space battles. If the Illuminates show up, give me space battles. Something.
Ram our ship into their ship and then board.
Ooh.
Yeah, why not? Make it the good version of Starfield.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
We
what a
can make
good
the
game.
ship-to-ship battles like Skull and Bones, but in space.
Oh, okay. We circle back around to dog shit. I think that we've tapped it out.
Okay, but if there was a whole ass Helldivers inside of Skull and Bones,
Right?
nobody
There
would
might
be
be-
mad, right?
Yeah, because there'd be a game inside the game.
Right.
It'd be something to play.
There'd be something to play.
I mentioned earlier the great gaping hole inside of Skull and Bones. It is Helldivers shaped. Drop 4 assassins down into a map to complete
Yeah.
missions together. You get overwhelmed by the guards. There's your game rescue. Make it a mobile game as it is, or make it Helldivers.
We're turning into Helldivers.
There you go.
Exactly.
Here's how you actually do it without overcharging your player base.
Yeah, because I
But hey,
would.
I-
the
this game-
circle is complete.
I
Yeah,
would
the
take-
fact that this game is still only $40 is just that's so fucking awesome. They didn't jack up the price when it got popular.
They did
Yeah.
not. You see, somebody tried to scam with Helldivers. They released their own game and then changed all their Steam page stuff to look like Helldivers.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And so
Yeah, I
it
saw
made
that.
it look like Helldivers was $35 off, i.e., $5 for Helldivers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what a
Uh-huh.
scam! What a stinker!
What was that game that came out about 6 months ago? What was it called? The day before or day after? That piece of
The
shit.
day before.
Day before, yeah.
That's
that,
its own whole thing. I followed that whole saga. That was
that
ridiculous.
was oh my god. What dude, did you not think you were gonna get caught? Jesus Christ.
Maybe that's a future episode of Game Rescue.
Nope. No,
Yeah.
that means
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
even-
playing.
There's no rescuing that. That's
That's a scam. I'm not dealing with it.
Nothing to
Yeah.
save here. Yeah, that's how I feel about Skull and Bones. If you clicked on this episode for that, you got 15 minutes worth of review, which is 10 more than we planned. So you're welcome for that.
Yeah.
If you stuck around for the Helldivers, please check out Optimal Debauchery. That's where I'm streaming all of our Helldivers content. You can see all of Jesse and I's drops for the last couple weeks on there. Josh in those as well. It's just a big cozy family of Helldiver drops. Whoever's available, I jump on with. It's
I've dropped in a few times.
yeah. Thank you both for being here and doing this jokey but real episode. It was a great time.
Really appreciate being here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We should release this on April 1st and just make this an April Fool's joke.
Ooh, that's not a bad fucking
Not a bad
idea, is it?
That's only- shit, that's 12 days away, right? So that's not so bad. That
All
gives you
right.
some
Well,
time.
if you're watching this early access, this is the April Fool's episode.
True. Okay.
Yeah, that's your gift. You're in on the joke. That's what
Yeah.
you get for $1 a month access. Check out our Patreon in the link tree. We have merch there as well. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to go dive into hell. Good night.
For democracy!
For democracy.
Spreading that democracy.
Dun, 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 dun.
Tell me something. Does it actually exist?
You know, Allie, I don't want to give away the ending.
I love it.